Hi guys, let's jump right into this full body post-workout stretch. Going to be starting with just in an upright position, arms overhead. Just going to hold that for a bit here. Going right into a down dog. Just going to pedal those feet out a little bit, give those calves a nice stretch. Make sure to take your time and not rush through anything. Just going to hold that for a bit here. And go right into a cobra. Go ahead and give those abs a nice stretch. We're going to go ahead and bring the feet up towards the head, getting an even deeper stretch into the core as well as the lower back and hips. Just go ahead, breathe deeply. Straddle the legs, keeping the knees on the floor. Getting a nice deep hip stretch there. Go ahead and try to keep your chest as close to the floor as you can. Just breathe deeply. Let's hold this for a few seconds. Just take your time coming out of that. You're going to go ahead and bring the shoulders down to the floor. So you want to think about your armpits coming as close to the floor as possible. And your hands reaching forward, almost like pulling on the mat a little bit. You should feel this deep into your shoulders. Just go ahead, breathe deeply. We'll keep holding that. And then just go ahead and lean on one side, getting deeper into that shoulder. And again, thinking about pressing your armpit towards the floor. And then just go ahead and switch sides. Then just slowly coming out of that. Again, take your time. Gonna do some cat-cows. Remembering to inhale on the way up, exhale on the way down. Really feeling that stretch through the spine. Coming right into a lunge on the right side now. I'm keeping my foot on the ground to start off. Really want to think about pressing deep into that hip and think about bringing your back hip forward. So keeping those hips square. I feel like your back hip is engaged. Then I'm just going to go ahead and come up into more of an active lunge here. I know the balance is hard, but just breathe and try to hold that for a couple seconds. Just bringing my back knee down now. Going to go ahead and straighten the front leg. Pointing the toe here, getting a nice hamstring stretch. And it's really important to think about not arching your back, making sure your spine is straight. Think about just folding straight over that front leg. I'm going to alternate between flexing and pointing my front foot. Again, just breathing deeply. Holding that position over that leg, getting that nice hamstring stretch here. I'm just coming into pigeon now. So you want to think about folding over that front leg, knee on the ground, trying to keep your hips as square as possible. So try to think about your back leg being straight behind you. And then go ahead, if you're able to, take that fold forward, just breathing deeply, trying not to let that back hip splay out too much. So trying to keep those hips square and back leg on the floor. Going to go ahead and slowly start coming out of that now. Remember to take your time as this can be intense on the hips. Now go ahead, I like to bring that front leg over the back leg. Just go ahead and lean to the side, gently press that knee outward, for a really deep hip stretch and come out of this very slowly as usual. That one can be really intense on the hips. Just going to go ahead and take in optional splits here. Again, if you're not able to do this, feel free to modify. Can either just go as far into the splits as you're able to, or hold a lunge, or keep holding the pigeon or something similar. Remember deep, slow breaths, and remember to keep those hips square, always remaining active with that back hip. Slowly coming out now. Go ahead and give your wrists a little shake out if you feel you need it. Going straight into that lunge on the other side. Same thing as before, keeping active with that back hip, keeping that foot flat on the ground to start. And we're going to go ahead, lift that back knee off the ground. Just hold that here for a bit, breathing deeply, feeling that stretch. And then go ahead and reach back. Bring that back knee down. Same thing as the other side. Go ahead and hold that for a second. And we're going to go ahead and straighten that front leg. I'm going to start with my foot pointed here. Again, getting that deep hamstring stretch. I'm just rotating around a little bit. Go ahead and flex and point that foot, alternating. And again, making sure to keep that spine straight and that you're not arching or hunching over your knee. Coming back into that pigeon on the other side. Again, just making sure to keep those hips as square as possible. Feeling that stretch deep into your hip, glute. And then just go ahead, same thing. Come down to the mat, remembering not to arch your back, keeping that spine straight. Slowly coming out of that, bringing that front knee over the back, getting that even deeper hip stretch. Go ahead, same thing, lean to the opposite side, just gently press that knee outward. And if your hips are really resisting this, please be careful or even take a modification. Going straight into that optional splits on the other side. Again, feel free to modify if needed, but ensure that you're keeping those hips square. Think about pressing that back hip forward if you are taking the splits with me. Slowly come out of that now. I'm going to go ahead and pedal the feet out and down dog, stretching everything out a little bit. Go ahead and come down onto your knees. I'm going to take a neck stretch. I want you to think about bringing your ear directly down to your shoulder, keeping your head in line, and just extend that arm outward. Go ahead and take a few neck circles. This should feel nice and relaxing, helping loosen everything up. Our necks do so much for us all day. Just doing that same side stretch on the opposite side, extending that opposite arm outward, and just circling it out. Just doing a gentle pull of the neck downward. Want to make sure you're not applying too much pressure. Don't want to overstress your neck. I'm just going to go ahead and lean the neck back. Going to go ahead and bring that arm overhead, doing a tricep stretch here. Go ahead and switch sides. I'm just going to go ahead and grab each shoulder and think about pulling back. Should feel a nice stretch through your shoulders here. Go ahead and come up now. We're going to go into that side body stretch. Just placing one arm on top of the leg, thinking about leaning straight over that knee. Just going to go hold that for a few seconds here. Circle around, do the other side. Going right into a wall shoulder stretch. So anywhere you can, go ahead and grab a wall. Keep that arm extended straight. You want to think about pushing to the other side. Should feel like a nice shoulder opener. Then I'm going to go ahead, bend at the elbow. Same position. It's going to get deeper into the chest. And don't forget to breathe deeply. Hold that. Go ahead and do the other side now. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Please go like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.